Hi everyone, my name is Kaveh Zamanian. I'm the founder and whiskey maker here at Rabbit Hole Distillery. Welcome to this tasting session. I am so pleased to have my guest here, David Mandell, founder, president, and former CEO of Bardstown Bourbon Company, and now the chairman of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Kaveh. It's great seeing you.
It's so good to see you, man.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
It has. It's amazing. I think back, and it was, how many years ago we were here. You had a construction site. You were building from scratch. I mean, it's amazing, and it's incredible to see what you have done here. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. And same to you. I mean, I think just watching what's happened in Bardstown with Bardstown Bourbon Company and all the development there is just spectacular. So I was wondering, actually, I know we're here to do a little tasting, but maybe before we get into the drink, and then we'll start drinking a little bit. So David, tell me a little bit about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Well, the festival has an incredible history. We're going on our 30th anniversary next year.
Cool.
Of course, this year we're wrapping up the virtual festival, which has been amazing, and it's a testament to a tremendous amount of work and creativity from the team. If you fast forward, if you rewind, 90 days ago, we had impact of COVID, the question, were we going to go forward with the festival or not? The team pulled together and executed this virtual festival in 3 months.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. And I'll tell you, Randy Prossi, who is our new president and CEO, along with the board and Emma Manley, have done just yeoman's work. Wow. Our distillery partners chipped in. Everybody has worked so hard to produce what you've just seen over the last several days. And it's all leading up to next year. Yeah. And that's what's so exciting. So what you're going to see next year in terms of changes, you're going to see a different format. So we're going to have a whole new model. You're going to come out, you're going to buy a bracelet. You're going to be able to go around to the different booths and try the products right there. We're going to have more distilleries. We're bringing the barrel rolling competition, world famous, right into the middle of the festival. Phenomenal. All outside, cooking demonstrations, new culinary experiences. And what we're trying to do is create something you can't get anywhere else, something that is truly Bardstown, the bourbon capital of the world, bringing in Louisville, all the other distilleries, and that kind of experience is truly unique and exciting.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the industry, and I can't wait until next year to come in and join and go through all that stuff, because especially for me, the barrel rolling, that's one of my favorites.
It's amazing. I mean, it's the kind of thing that, frankly, we look at it and say, this should be on ESPN. You follow these teams. Everybody, competes. I mean, they practice, they compete. And what's better than barrel rolling and whiskey?
100%. And then you got all these amazing brands there. I mean, you don't get a chance to see all these guys and all the people that are involved in making it. They're interacting with you.
I'll tell you another piece that we're going to be doing next year. So hidden in the back of the festival for years has been this little auction where they had rare whiskey and rare products. We're bringing that out into a huge tent right in the middle of the festival, and we're going to make that a signature part of the festival. So not only can you go to the auction and bid, for these rare products, and it all goes to charity, but you'll be able to connect via the e-commerce, the internet, and participate online.
That's amazing. Well, speaking of rare whiskeys, I have a very special announcement. One of you guys is going to be the lucky one who wins this very special bottle. This is our first release of our Boxergrail. That's Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey at Cask Strength, 6-year-old. Very special bottle. Limited edition, only 1,315 bottles released. So you're going to get an email. There's going to be a raffle, and I hope you win. So make sure you're on the lookout for that email.
What a great giveaway.
Thank you.
That's exceptional.
What do you think of the package?
I'll tell you, I think it's beautiful. And what you guys have done across the entire spectrum of the brands is tremendous.
Thank you.
I mean, it really is. It's a gorgeous package, but more importantly, it's amazing product. And I think that, that's where, bourbon is headed, right? It's innovation. It's not only exceptional product, but it's really what you're doing with it and the experience.
Well, I really appreciate you bringing that up, because that's a really cool segue to, I think, brands like Bardstown Bourbon and Rabbit Hole. Because to me, there's a lot of wonderful heritage and traditional brands in Kentucky, as we know. But it seems that Bardstown and Rabbit Hole, in some ways, we've come in, both of us outsiders, frankly, and we've come into Kentucky, and Kentucky is now our adopted home. And we've put our own twist, we've kind of done our own new riff, if you would, on this great American spirit. So I wanted to hear and maybe talk a little bit, and I think maybe we can start with the tasting.
Let's do
about
that.
What does innovation mean? In your opinion, and I can tell you a little bit on my
Yeah, I think it's great. It's a great question, and we'll drink here as we do this.
Let's go with this
we'll
one.
talk.
So you know what? Here's the first one I got for you that
Yes.
I'm really excited. I want you to taste.
Yep.
Is our 15-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon that's finished in a Mizunara cask, and it's number
my gosh.
2.
Okay, number
Should
2.
be number 2.
Yep,
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and that's amazing because just, getting the Mizunara oak is, a challenge in and of itself.
It is.
It's almost impossible. And so it's incredible that you got this. And then you're coupling it with a 15-year-old.
Yeah, I
Right.
started collecting barrels a long time ago. And this is my own personal stock, and it was sitting there, and we're like, we need to do something with it. And finally, when I got the Mizunara, I said, why don't we just, give it a shot and see what happens to this amazing distillate,
Right.
and what kind of finished product we have. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about it.
We are more than just a general contractor. From land acquisition and development to self-performing trades like design and engineering, site, concrete, masonry, steel fabrication, steel erection and hardscapes, building repairs and maintenance, warehouse remediation, fall protection inspections and installations, and K-Rack's premium spirits barrel storage systems. We work together. 4 divisions, 3 generations, 1 team. We are Cutter.
Following in the footsteps of great distillers that came before me, I envisioned making one-of-a-kind whiskeys that could stand the test of time and lift up American whiskey to its rightful place. For the first edition of our new series, Founders Collection, I'm releasing a very special 6-year-old cask strength of our Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey, Boxergrail. Cask strength means nothing is added and nothing is taken away. Only a handful of barrels from our mature stocks of whiskey have been carefully selected. Each bottle shows how barrel and whiskey come together at full strength. Let our carefully crafted whiskey be a metaphor for life. Complexity can be beautiful, differences are something to appreciate, and dreams are meant to be lived.
That is unbelievable.
You know what's cool about it is that it's not finished yet,
Right.
right? So and this goes to the question of innovation, where there's brands that we're kind of taking a pretty big chance on this 15-year-old product, right? But for me, doing something like this is exactly part and parcel of what needs to happen to see how we can push the envelope when it comes to whiskey expression.
I couldn't agree more, and I think that is exactly at the heart of innovation, and it's taking risks. It's taking chances. It's allowing your team as well to go out with ideas and test different things. I mean, this is exceptional, and I think we certainly see that, and saw that at Bardstown Bourbon Company, and the innovation side. That's what people are looking for too. The consumers are looking for it. They're not only coming to the distillery and saying, what can't I get anywhere else that I can get here? That's what I want.
Yeah, and I think the other piece is it's having the opportunity to bring other folks in the fold that want to create, right? Again, I think you and I have talked quite about this, where there wasn't a Bardstown bourbon when I started Rabbit Hole. There was no place to go and say, you know what, I want to make my own recipes, and could you make those recipes for me? But now there's an opportunity there where people can come in, they can get their creative juices flowing and really help the diversity of whiskey expressions, which to me is probably one of the most exciting things that's happening right now.
I couldn't agree more, and I think the flip side, or the other side of that on the innovation, so you have the product side, but then you have the innovation on the experience side. And I think as you see, people are valuing experiences more than things too. So you couple this with an authentic experience. something that is different. It can be different, fresh. It can just be truly authentic, like you have here at Rabbit Hole, like you have so many other great distilleries doing in Kentucky. That's where you're seeing so much innovation.
Yeah.
And I'll tell
I
you,
agree.
and that's what we're focusing on at the Bourbon Festival too.
Yeah.
Creating the kind of experience that you can't get anywhere else. And that's a lot of what you'll see for the 30th anniversary.
So speaking of innovation, I got something special for you here. It's a Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey that we finished in vermouth barrels. So this is our partners. They have Starlino Vermouth, and we imported this barrel from them. And
the nose on that is beautiful.
yeah, it's honestly, I'm curious about your thoughts, but for me, it's like a cocktail, for God's sake.
And how long did you finish this?
So this one is another project that's in the works. What we're tasting, I believe, is about 4 months into the barrel right now.
I think one of the things that's so interesting with finishing is that whole process. People say, how long is it finished? How long? And it's really one of those things that you just, it's how far are you willing to push the envelope? Right? And that, I think that's one of the most exciting things in that area. We let them go a minimum of 18 months on some of our finishes, but that's because they kept getting better.
Yeah.
So I think that, that's one of the things that's so...
that's one of the great talking points, because I think consumers sometimes associate time with necessarily quality, which sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, right? And especially like this barrel was the first time that it's been adulterated with whiskey, right? So it's pretty fresh, the flavors are there. If we're using it the second time, naturally, the time frame would be very different.
That is really, really amazing, especially when you compare it to the Mizunara and the 15-year-old there too. I mean, this is really the flavors. It's deep, but it's also got kind of a fresh crispiness, fruitiness that's coming from, obviously, from the vermouth, but it's really nice.
It really is. I taste a lot of raisin. I mean, it's just, and speaking of raisin, I'm thinking about what's happening here in Kentucky, because to me, having grown up in California, what's really magical about it is the similarities between how Napa developed and Kentucky's developing, with all these different distilleries around the states, with the trail, with what's happening in Bardstown, Louisville, Lexington.
Yeah, and it's amazing because I think, you look at it and it's almost as if we sit about 10 years behind on the experience side from where Napa, is or has been just recently. And I think there's so much potential growth there for Louisville, for Bardstown, for the whole trail, for the Kentucky Distillers Association. It's, we need more people to come to Kentucky and come check out what we have, because it is amazing.
And folks, I've been saying this quite a bit, that I think that the future of whiskey in some ways is about seeing these different types of whiskey expressions. And very similar to what we saw in the craft beer movement, with the craft wine industry, or what's happening with all these different varietals, that I predict in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to be able to see from all these wonderful distillers, including Rabbit Hole, a range of expressions, and seeing the IQ of consumer keep growing and going up, because I'm envisioning a day where people can come in and say, look, I want this kind of flavor profile, I want to pair it with this kind of meal or that kind of dessert. And you kind of get to know whiskey and the way consumers know wine and beer.
I completely agree. And the consumer is looking for that authentic experience. They want, and what does that mean? Well, it can be as simple as they want transparency. They want to see what you're making. They want to understand all the components of it. And you guys are doing an incredible job at that. There's so many other distilleries that are beginning and moving quickly, towards opening the doors, showing everybody what they've been doing. And that's what consumers are looking for. That's certainly what we've seen.
Well, on that note, why don't we go to the last but not least, this 6-year-old cask strain.
This is what the winner's get.
This is what the winner's going to get. One of the lucky folks is going to win this.
Oh, wow. And this is an honor to be one of the first people to try this.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Well, you're one of my best pals here in Kentucky, so I'd love to share it with you.
You want to win this. That's all I can tell you, is you want to win this. This is exceptional. That is really, really incredible, Kaveh.
Thank you. It makes me think of, again, we're talking about lots of different stuff in Kentucky and whiskey. I think, to me, this expression is in part a testament to the collaboration that happens also in this state. I don't think people really recognize how much we work together, different distillers, right? How much conversation happens, how much we learn from each other. This was really a byproduct of conversations with other distilleries and ultimately deciding on a certain type of barrel that makes this rye unique on its own.
It's exceptional. It is, and it's something that's amazing about the industry, that you don't see that in too many industries where you have such competitors work together, help each other in crisis. You know, we compete in the market, but when it comes to working together, you know, to celebrate this industry, it is amazing. And that's what we're doing at the Bourbon Festival. And we want everybody to come out next year, 30th anniversary, and join us, because what we're doing here is what you'll be doing in person here at Rabbit Hole and down in Bardstown with all of our great distillery partners.
You're going to be in the room with us.
That's right.
There you go.
Don't miss it.
Well, listen, before we make a toast, we got to make a toast. I want to just remind everybody.
I drank it before we toasted.
Well, keep a little bit, man. Keep a little bit. Right. I just want to say one more time, one of you is going to be the lucky one who wins this bottle, one of 1,315 bottles. So be on the lookout, and best of luck. Folks, thank you for being with us here today. David, it's been lovely to have you here with us. I'm so excited about Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and next year, the 30th anniversary. It's going to be a phenomenal gathering. I really do truly hope you guys join us next year. And in the honor of David and the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, I'd like you to join me, and I'd like you to join me, David, in a toast. So it's been said that bourbon is a mirror to the American psyche, and the image it reflects is our evolving attitudes. If that is indeed the case, when I think of the future bourbon, I see authenticity and transparency. I see that nostalgia is not enough. Fake backstories are not going to do it anymore. You need to have distinct products and true stories of people who've made them. All kinds of people, all colors and creeds. When I think of the future of bourbon, I see innovation, I see collaboration, I see us modernizing the industry and working together to grow and prosper. And lastly, I see celebration of our common humanity and our love for an industry that is ultimately here to bring us together. So with that, the toast to the next 30 years of celebrating our signature industry, our native spirit, and together with folks like David Mandell and Kentucky Bourbon Festival, a toast to the future of bourbon.
Cheers, Kaveh. So
Cheers.
Well said. Thank you.
Join us next year.
Next year in Bardstown.
Next year in Bardstown.